The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I am your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week, here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bring some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Morning, kids.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday morning.
Good morning. Good
morning. Somebody's breaking out in a choir already.
I told you it was going to be a great year, boys. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah, you didn't wear your purple shirt this morning.
No, lavender. I decided, I'm going to wait till closer to Easter time.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I don't really feel like spring is here.
Yeah, I was getting that feeling last week. I thought we were a little premature, but that's okay.
Yeah, I decided to wear a power color.
Yeah, power color.
I'm in red and always in black.
Good deal.
Now that we've given them a visual.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
If the studio had eyes. Mm-hmm. As always, it's so good to have my special guest host, Michelle Pettiscavalli, here in the studio with us today. Michelle is a licensed realtor with Valleywide Homes.
I am.
You're doing that thing Valleywide, aren't you?
Yeah, Valleywide. I feel like statewide. Everywhere I go, someone's got a question. Have you noticed that?
Well, yeah, and you've got to go far and wide to keep up in today's market.
Good stuff.
Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home. Because I'm tired from running all over the county.
All over the state, right?
I'm teasing.
Exactly. Let's take a look at today's show. We're going to take a look at some of the top stories in the news. Did you know that nearly 1/3 of U.S. homeowners have no mortgage?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, really.
Really?
I'm going to tell you all about it. Yep.
Oh, right on.
And year over year, U.S. home prices up sharply in November.
Sharply?
Mm-hmm.
Are they normally dull?
Well, it depends on where you live.
I mean, where do you... Yeah,
as the housing market rebounds, listing prices cut the other way.
Listing prices.
Very interesting.
Okay, that I need explanation on.
Yeah, we need a little greater clarity.
That sounds a little,
In the meat potatoes of today's show, have you arrived at a point in your life or your career where you've achieved success relatively, but being at the top of the mountain isn't really all that you had thought it would be, and now you're searching for a way to leave your respective mark or your legacy? Well, are you looking for a way to move from success to significance?
I like that. Success to significance.
Well, I can't take credit for it. This is all Brent's doing. Well, today we have Brent Riffle, the Major Donation Relations Director for the Convoy of Hope, here to share just exactly what is Convoy of Hope, what is their message, and how do they serve our community, and how can you begin to move from success to significance? Good morning, Brent.
Good morning.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Things are going well.
Every time I see you face to face and you say, you got a big smile on your face. Always. That's a good thing.
I love what I do, and I love making an impact in the world. So,
attaboy.
It's good to be here.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay with us. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, it all starts with one call. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. Go to REOFresnoHomes.com. You can search for your new home. Did I mention that?
You did.
I did. Mm-hmm. Twice?
Maybe 3 times.
Okay, good. Well, 3 times is not enough. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
For once you're not looking ahead. That's good.
I was trying to behave today.
Had a girl. Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, let's take a look at today's hot property. Today's hot property is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Whether it's residential, multifamily, or commercial, use press 4 keywords perfect home inspections. Or call Jerry Schooley today for your perfect inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Well, today's hot property is a HUD home.
It's a nice house.
Yeah, it is a way cool house. 4129 West Cherry Tree Lane. That is Fresno, California, 93722. Let's see here. This property was appraised for $169,000. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story, 1,925 square foot home built in 2006.
Nice.
Yeah.
2-story.
2-story. All this for $169,000.
$169,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's way less than $100 a square foot.
It is way less than $100 a square foot. HOA fees?
There is a homeowner. Yes, there is a homeowners association of roughly $83 a month. Again, we mentioned it was appraised at $169,000, so an FHA appraisal has already been completed, saving your buyer, if you're an agent, or if you're a buyer, roughly about $450. The cost of an appraisal.
Nice.
It does also require a repair escrow of $1,980, meaning the appraiser has deemed that there's about just a little less than $2,000 in repairs necessary for this particular home to bring it up to HUD's minimum property requirements. This home is eligible for owner-occupants only during the first 30 days. Cannot stress it enough. Owner-occupants need not...
What a great price. So that's just east of the 99, and it looks like it might be Central Unified.
Yeah,
out that way.
It is Central Unified. Investors need not apply on this particular property.
Not
The bidding
yet.
deadline is tonight
Uh-oh.
at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Call us right away.
Yeah, so you've got about 14 hours to get into us if you'd like to see this particular property. If you'd like more information about today's hot property, please give us a call anytime at 800-979-3958 or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ Hot Property.
And we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, let's take a look at some of the top stories in the news. Well, once again, bouncing along the bottom, 1,122 active listings in Fresno County. Third week or roughly third week of January. So, most folks are still at home under their blanket and trying to stay warm.
I know we've had these spring-like days, and then it goes back to winter. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm getting ready to get my cheerleaders out.
Your cheerleaders out? Why is that?
Yeah, to have them cheer. Yeah, bring them back. Bring them back. Way back, because I don't have any houses to show.
Yeah,
my clients are like, okay, Michelle, I'm looking at the portal, and nothing's come up.
Right.
Yeah, I see
when you
that.
think of a year ago and we had 3,000 active listings, it is a little disconcerting because I tell you what, if something doesn't change quickly, Fresno County is in for a bumpy ride in terms of, now I say bumpy ride. It's a good thing for those folks that may be upside down because you should expect to see over the next 12 months that your equity is going to recover much quicker than you would expect in past years.
But what I'm going to say right now, I'm urging folks, if they at all have to make that decision, now would be a wonderful time to put your house on the market. If you have a mortgage and no job, for instance, and that's one of those difficult things you're struggling with, now's a great time to put your house on the market because there is such activity out there. So don't feel overwhelmed. The angst. Let's call us. Let's talk about it. Let's see what makes sense.
Sure. It all starts with one call, and then secondarily a competitive market analysis to see exactly where you're at. Yeah. Did you know also that nearly 1/3 of U.S. homeowners have no mortgage? Wow. Those who own homes outright include retirees and a surprisingly high percentage of young adults. That the
Good
real
for
estate.
them.
Yeah.
Amen.
After having been through what we've been through over the last 5 or 6 years, it is a little refreshing to hear that folks.
It is.
Yeah, and
that's where their focus is and their dollars are going.
Certainly.
For that level of stability.
And keep in mind, like you had mentioned in many shows past, that being able to get a 15-year mortgage for the same payment that you may have been paying on a 30-year mortgage because of such a significant decrease in your interest rate, you could be part of this growing segment of our population that is currently living without a mortgage.
And it's really nice to hear when we hear such negative news regularly about foreclosures and people losing their homes, and we are facing that and dealing with that in the real estate world every day.
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear that there's that level of a population that has that stability and has that
sense of fiscal responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They've gotten their roadmap and they've taken it to the end. Awesome.
Amazing. Did you also know that year-over-year U.S. home prices up sharply in November?
Okay, when you say up sharply,
yeah.
Tell me about
U.S.
that.
home prices in November extended their steady recovery from the housing bust, rising 7.4%. I'd say that's sharply from a year ago. It was the biggest year-over-year increase in 6.5 years nationally.
Okay, so 7.4%. Okay.
Yeah. These stats were provided by CoreLogic. It wasn't the Obama administration.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I feel better now already.
Yeah. You felt like you weren't being lied to, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can all skew. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
You can get a statistic to tell whatever story you want it to.
Yeah, let's
depending
paint that
upon
picture.
How you get the rainbow spray paint out and spray it exactly how you want. Mm-hmm. And also, as the housing market rebounds, listing prices cut the other way. So let's, Michelle,
explain the heading there.
Yeah, the end of the year typically represents a prime time for savvy homebuyers who pounce on last-ditch discounting by sellers. But in another sign that 2013 may be brighter for housing, price reductions on for-sale homes are getting harder to find in many, many markets.
Oh, I see what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just a little play on words that they did to get your attention, but I agree. I'm seeing price increases on the MLS, very few reductions in our little ecosystem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I would agree totally with that.
Out of the 100 largest metro markets, 33.6% of homes for sale saw price drops from their original or recent listing data in the last 6 months, according to data released on Wednesday by Trulia. In the same period a year earlier, a large share, or 36.7% of homes, went down in price.
Yeah, not seeing that as much.
Well, and you have to keep in mind, this is a national stat.
Sure.
In Fresno County, it need not apply.
We're special.
Yeah, we are way special. And also, can I buy your house, pretty please? Buyers are taking a little different approach in terms of how they make an impact on sellers. Yeah.
I find that so cute. I find it so funny. Explain. Yes, please. Allow.
This particular couple, Rob and Julia Israch, won a fierce bidding war for a 3-bedroom townhouse in Mountain View, California. So, Mountain View, California, it's going to be a little pricey.
California.
Last year, even though their $750,000 offer, while $92,000 above the asking price, was topped by 11 rivals and was several $1,000s below the highest bid. And what you see in this story is that the key reason was the seller, who was a software engineer, was moved by a letter in which these folks said that they had worked in a technology industry and explained how the home's spacious layout would be perfect given the imminent arrival of their first child. Amongst other things, the townhouse has 3 bedrooms and a wood-burning stove and a roomy backyard. And there's a little picture here in the article, and it has a little baby sitting on the floor. And this is at first when I saw this, it looked like a real baby, but it's not a real baby. It's a doll? It's a little doll.
Oh,
and
it said, goodness.
And there's 2 dogs, one on either side of the photo, and there's a black lab and a golden retriever.
And
they
kidding me?
We would love a big backyard.
Oh, my goodness.
So pulling at the emotional heartstrings.
What a schmooze.
Yeah, and it's not all about the dollars.
However, I will tell you that when I'm dealing with a seller, they're not looking to sell their houses to investors generally. They're looking for a family.
Well, it said just that.
Someone who's going to love their home the way they did. So that totally makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. The seller said, I felt very comfortable with these people. The seller himself, a father of a toddler, I really wanted this place to go to somebody in a similar situation.
See? And I love working with first-time
This
homebuyers.
is one of these redeeming kind of...
It makes it feel good. It's a feel-good story.
Faith in humanity.
Yeah,
Before we talk to Brent.
We're showing him there's a little left? Is that what we're doing?
There's a little left.
I love that, though, because I personally love working with my first-time homebuyers. It's like ooey gooey.
Yeah.
So happy. I just got to send a happy anniversary out.
Yeah.
I sent a happy anniversary text out this weekend to a buyer who bought at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
And said, it's been a year. Happy anniversary. I just want to see how you and your family are doing in your house.
Oh,
it was I don't know. I can't do that to my investors. Happy anniversary. You made another $100 last year. It just doesn't feel the same. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Did you also know that there is another sign that the market is healing?
Did you take the Band-Aid off and look again?
No, I did not.
Are you checking too early? What's up?
Yeah. No, it's interesting because there's always an ebb and a flow in terms of mortgage products. And now that we're seeing, for the longest time over the last 5+ years, the max loan to value that you could finance an investment property purchase was 80%. So you had to come in
Investment.
with 20% down. There were no PMI companies, and PMI, let's make sure that we're all on page.
Yeah.
That's a
Explain the
private
acronym.
mortgage insurance company that helps, basically, if you were to finance anything in excess of 80%, it requires private mortgage insurance to help protect the investor that is basically fronting that loan, that in the event that you default, and trust me, the buyer is making the payments on that, it's an insurance policy that protects that investor, that if you default, that they will be made whole based upon the terms of that policy. Well, now we do have a private mortgage insurance company that's now entered the market in California, California being one of the hardest hit states that we've seen over the last 5 or 6 years. And now we have wholesale partners that are stepping to the plate and saying, hey, we've got 85% investment property purchase money. You're going to have to pay private mortgage insurance. Yeah, not bad.
So, do we think this is a step in
Well,
a good direction or a concerning direction?
This
honestly?
is always a sign that the market's recovering.
Oh, no, I agree with that. However, my concern is it's the same thing as everybody else's.
Is that it's going to be 2005 before you know it, right?
That we start opening up with some creative financing, and then we end up back where we, started.
No. With all the new federal requirements as far as what exactly is a qualified mortgage, there's certain types of financing that you won't ever see come back, because they've been legislated away, the way of the dinosaur.
Morals are, again, legislated away.
They are. So investment property financing, a sign that the market is recovering. Obviously, it is recovering. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, give us a call. It all starts with one phone call. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also go to our website and check out our resources online at reofresnohomes.com. Michelle is spastic, I must say, to search for your new home. You can also friend us on Facebook. Use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To get connected to us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, have you arrived at a point in your life where you really start beginning to think that, is success really all that it's cracked up to be? And are you looking to make a move towards significance in the mark or the legacy that you will leave? Well, again, we mentioned that we have Major Donor Relations Director for Convoy of Hope, Brent Riffle, here in the studio with us to share a little information on just exactly what is Convoy of Hope and how we can help transition you from success to significance. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at PeteSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, like we were speaking before the break, have you arrived? Have you arrived? Michelle, have you arrived?
I don't know.
I mean, here at the studio, of course you arrived this
Well,
morning.
I mean, we were talking about success on the break, and success is a moving target for most all of us.
Yeah.
Like, how much is enough? You know, you achieve a certain goal, and you move on to achieve the next goal, and the next goal, and you keep making goals for yourself, but really, are you getting the satisfaction from it, was what we were talking about.
And you know what's really interesting? I couldn't agree more, because I feel that, I'm almost 50 years old. I feel that in my past, goals, and I love setting goals. Every single year I set goals. I love setting goals, but what is kind of crazy is the feeling when you get there. Now, there might be a feeling of, wow, success.
Achievement, sure.
Achievement. However, the flip side of the coin is at times it feels a little hollow.
Well, I don't know that, it does feel hollow, but I think it also just sets you up for another goal you got to set to stay on top and to keep going, and sometimes that is where it starts to lack fulfillment.
The next thing you know.
Yeah.
You
got to be bigger, you got to get better, you got to do more. You did this last year, now you got to do this year in order to feel something, because you don't maybe feel anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. That's my impression.
Right, exactly. And so really the intent of today's conversation is talking about moving from success to significance. And we've got Brent Riffle, Major Relations Donor Director from Convoy of Hope, here in the studio with us. And Brent, first of all, thanks so much again for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's good to be here and good to be speaking to our listeners this morning. Excited to be a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah, you can tell you enjoy what you do.
I do. I love what I do.
You really can.
I love helping people make a difference in the world, help moving them from their success to significance, to do something bigger in their life than they had really ever thought they could do or were hoping they would be able to get to. But seeing them just say, hey, I want to do something different.
Sure.
I need to take my business. I need to do something different.
So tell me, just because I want some clarity out there.
Sure.
Donor relations. Tell me exactly what that title enables you to do, and what kind of umbrella does that cover as far as you on a daily basis, what you do daily?
Well, my experience in the past has come out of the ministry area and then into the whole financial services industry. And when working in the financial services industry, seeing all the things that we were doing in the financial services industry to build our books of business, I kind of got to that point where I was saying, hey, how can we keep the assets that we've got under management as an advisor, but how can we help donors and our clients give to make a difference in the world?
Sure.
And so donor relations, major donor relations for Convoy of Hope, I just came onto their team in November, coming from the Fresno Rescue Mission in much of the same role here in the Valley, but came in with the intention of really being able to build relationships, retain relationships with donors, and help them do something significant with their assets, whether it be cash, whether it be investment money, or even, as we're talking this morning about real estate, even to the point of real estate.
Right.
We've had a lot of people give real estate to help impact our communities and change the hearts and lives of people.
Wow.
Has that surprised you, the willingness of folks to give in that way?
Everybody, yes. And everybody comes to that at a different time in life.
Yeah.
You know, in my situation, I was really impacted when I went to Mexico when I was a sophomore in high school, living in Kingsburg,
When
and
you
I
went
saw
to
poverty.
Mexicali with Johnny Thompson.
That's
Oh,
right.
my
All
goodness.
those guys.
I remember as kids. Yes. Yes.
And it was walking into homes down there, it gives me chills right now, walking into homes down there of people that were needy and didn't have the resources to provide for themselves like we do here.
Right.
So
we're so blessed.
So we are blessed. We're very blessed. But walking into that house that had 2 rooms, an extension cord coming in, maybe that had a light on it that even worked.
Right.
But dirt floors.
Right.
And made out of cardboard and maybe pallets. And that rocked me.
Right.
And I got to that point where I said, how can we help? How can we bring people to the point, as third world countries look at us as highly successful, quotes, they look at us as successful. So it doesn't matter if we're a business owner or an individual family trying to do something, or kids.
Well, and I think what I mentioned before, success is all relative to your perspective too. So somebody who's a college student who's getting their degree, I mean, they may feel like they're at the top of the tower because they finally have a paycheck coming in because they've just gotten their job, where someone else might feel success as a business owner, as a multi-million-dollar donor. So you're talking about all different levels of life, but always the same thing. It's perspective on success.
Yeah, and what does that look like? I mean, you mentioned goals. We all set goals. How do we lay out our goals, and what are those goals? What do they look like? Are they success-oriented goals, or are they significance-oriented goals?
Right. What's the purpose?
Yeah, and when we first sat down and had the conversation in prepping for the show a few weeks back, it was so interesting because I tell you what, just that statement, from success to significance, hit me like a bag of bricks. Because it's the first time that I had ever really truly thought about, and it's not because... it's because of you and I speaking.
Sure.
But, you also get a little bit older and you reflect, or have a tendency to reflect a little bit more in terms of, and I see instances daily where kids, as an example, are impacted because of the lack of direction that they receive from their parents, or their parents just aren't there in order to impact them in a significant way.
Right.
And it's just
heightened awareness.
Yeah.
You have heightened awareness now.
Thank you for putting the words in my mouth, because
I hope I didn't mess up your life that bad.
No. No, I think it forces us to ask the question, because are we getting a little introspective and a little philosophical this morning? Most definitely. But when it comes right down to it, when you ask the question, so many folks may have not really taken the time to identify what's it going to take for them to leave a significant legacy. Really, truly.
Right.
And what does that look like to everyone? Success is an ever-evolving bullseye, as Michelle mentioned. Significance in terms of the legacy that you will leave is an ever-evolving bullseye as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, what do you find as far as how, when folks sit down and say, okay, Brent, because that, to me, that seems like how the conversation goes with you. When you sit down with someone, you are more of you're an information gatherer. Because what does significance look like to you?
Yeah, I love that. I love that cup of coffee, because that cup of coffee time. Even this last week, I had a conversation with a high-level business guy looking at franchising his business all over the country, and his comment to me, and I asked him the question. I said, "Have you gotten to that point where you're moving from success to significance?" And he paused. He pulled out his pen and he started writing. He goes, I've never really looked at it like that. Let me write that down. Success to significance. Brent, he looked at me in the eyes and he said, I have never looked at it like that. But that's exactly where I'm at. And I am here, and it was back at home office with Convoy, that I am here looking at how can I make a difference and do something more than what I'm doing right now. I've already hit success. Where is the line that I need to draw? Do I need to go all throughout the country and speak and build my business? Or can I just live off of what I'm living off of now and doing something more and and making a greater impact.
Right.
I don't want to spend my time building more business. I've already done that.
Right.
I'd rather sell it, give it away.
Been there, done that.
Or do something else where I can actually engage other people to do something significant. And he is doing that even as we speak.
So how does Convoy facilitate that? What is it that they're doing specifically for people to become more significant? Tell us more about what they do specifically.
Well, our team is set up. We've got about 5 people on our team that are really set up to work with major donors. Mm-hmm. And we've got a couple different departments: church relations, corporate relations, and then major donor relations. And so as we're connecting with people, my role is really to connect with business owners, with people that are at that point where they want to make large gifts and they don't know necessarily how to do it. Mm-hmm. How do I start giving? How do I turn my business into a social impact business?
And do they consult you for how do I set it up tax wise to make sure that I'm doing the right things for my family and my descendants? And then, I mean, is it those types of things that you guys set up for them?
Right?
It is complicated. I'm thinking
it gets that complicated.
It does. Okay.
And we've got a guy, Dan Rice, on our team.
Who helps them with that?
Is the key player in helping put those pieces together.
Because I think some people, I don't know, this is just me talking again smack, but I feel like if people don't know, if they don't have the roadmap of directions on how to do something, a lot of times they just don't do it. So I guess my question is, with Convoy, it sounds like you have key people in place to help them build the roadmap to do whatever it is significant that they want to do.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And it's sitting down, having that cup of coffee and asking some questions and just finding out what their heartbeat is for what is it they want to try to accomplish. And then let's start putting together the plan to make that happen. Okay. And even to the point where if we can help them give in such a way that they can have more assets in their pocket, that's our goal. Put that together.
Yeah, I'm confused, but
you want to give, but we also want to give as effectively as possible.
Effectively, okay.
To make that happen.
Right.
So.
Right.
Super. Well, again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, call us anytime. Brent, Michelle, and myself, we'd love to hear from you. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also go to our website. Check out our resources online. Search for your new home, as well as listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network at REOFresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into the show anytime. Well, when we get back, we're going to continue our conversation with Brent Riffle, the Major Donor Relations Director for Convoy of Hope. The topic of our discussion is moving from success to significance. And how are you going to leave your mark? Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valley White Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valley White Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at REOFresnoHomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valley White Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, we're continuing our conversation with Brent Riffle, the Major Donor Relations Director of Convoy of Hope. How to move from success to significance. And we mentioned it's an ever-evolving bullseye for most folks as far as success is concerned. Brent, go into a little greater detail as to tell our listeners what we need to know about Convoy of Hope, what it is exactly that they do.
Well, Convoy of Hope really focuses on 4 different things. And I like to share with people in this way. We connect government, nonprofits, churches, and people in communities to do community-wide outreaches. We have our tagline, we have a driving passion to feed the world. And so when it comes to feeding the world, how do we do that? Mm-hmm. We've focused on four different areas, and that is in local communities, being able to put together an outreach in the community, which gives us the opportunity to connect the resources in a community that we can then use in the future to work on all the disaster relief.
Okay.
And so it puts the pieces, the stage work together. So 3 years ago, Convoy of Hope came into Fresno and did a big outreach in Fresno in 2009. And we united churches and nonprofits to the tune of about 140 of them here in the Central Valley to work together to serve the less fortunate in our community.
Super.
Over 10,000 people showed up to that.
Oh, my gosh.
And we're looking at doing that again at the end of this year in November, on the 23rd of November in 2013.
Oh, super.
So when we come in to do those outreaches, and we're doing them throughout the country on a big 50-state tour, going in and making those connections, but then being able to respond to issues like Sandy. Mm-hmm. So when Sandy came and hit, we made a significant impact in helping there. And we pulled our resources together. We sat in a room. We have a team that does that, and disaster response team that goes in and starts watching that storm come in, mm-hmm. deploying our convoy, if you will,
sure. mm-hmm.
into that area to make a significant difference in that area and resource.
And you're speaking specifically of Hurricane Sandy that hit the Upper East Coast.
Right, right.
And when you talk about facilitating your convoy, you're talking about people you already have a relationship with, that you've worked with in the past, who know what's needed and step up to the plate and volunteer to help and come in with dollars or goods or whatever. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we're partnering with other organizations as well to help make that happen. But that's really what we do. Convoy of Hope started up in 18 years ago or so, started up in the Northern California area. And then because of what they did, they said, we need to be in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And so they moved into Springfield, Missouri. Okay. And we now have a 300,000 square foot warehouse that is really our world distribution center. Wow. Being able to deploy our convoy of trucks all over the place whenever there is a need.
Now, also give some examples globally, in other words, internationally, how Convoy of Hope is involved.
Okay, the same thing. We're involved in outreaches internationally as well. We're also involved in disaster relief internationally. And the other big part, and we love this part, we love all the parts of Convoy, but the third real part of Convoy is we're feeding 125,000 kids in 9 different countries of the world right now.
Wow. That's a lot.
And helping provide food for them so they have an education, so we can tap into the family a little bit, provide water, clean water, provide help to them in moving to the next level in their life, and really providing a dream, a hope to become more than what they were doing in going out on the streets and trying to make something happen.
Well, I was going to say, even people we know who've gone through, some kind of major catastrophe in their life. When you're focused on major catastrophe or feeding some child of yours or getting through an ugly situation, you don't really have the ability to look at the next level and how to grow, how to be better, how to...
It's survival at the moment.
Exactly.
You're just trying to make it.
That sounds like what you're talking about. You're giving these people the bare necessities so that they can hope for something in the future.
Right. And then we're coming in with programming to help them move to that next level.
Awesome.
Based upon Convoy of Hope's mission statement as to really what you're trying to accomplish, do you have any stats on really nationally as well as internationally what kind of need there is out there in terms of, hey guys, this problem's way worse. Feeding 120-some thousand kids on a daily basis. This problem's way, way worse. And here's the void that needs to be filled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a much, much bigger problem, and we're just a little dent in the big picture because there's a lot of organizations that are coming together saying, "Hey, we need to do something." I mean, even my kids, are sitting asking the question. They've helped here in the local valley with providing for the less fortunate kids.
Talk about your daughter has a movement that she has created. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I took her on a tour of the Fresno Rescue Mission when she was 8 years old, and she saw need. And she said, I want to do something about that. And so she started saving her money. And after 2 years, saved $260-some, and then got to that point where she was ready to make the gift. But when she set up the meeting with the CEO of the Fresno Rescue Mission, Larry Arce, she had kind of got to that point and said, well, if I make this gift tomorrow, I'm going to have to start over at zero again. And I really don't want to do that. So can I pause this meeting for a little bit and can I invite some friends? Well, after inviting her friends, they had come together 3 weeks later and actually made a gift of over $1,200.
Wow.
And then they said, well, let's keep going. We want to provide for the less fortunate. And so with that, the mission called and said, would you be willing to help us with a playground? We're looking at applying for a grant. Well, the kids raised about $7,500, and then they found out that the grant was not approved.
Oh, wow.
So they went back to my daughter and said, Caitlin, now what do you want to do? She goes, well, let's just raise the full $75,000 because the kids need a playground.
We don't need your money.
And we're going to go do it.
Awesome.
And so to date, they've raised over $78,000 for that playground.
Wow.
And it is about to be ordered within the next week here
That's amazing.
at Rescue the Children. So even now, she's sitting saying, oh, okay, what's next?
Right.
She brought her friends together and says, our goal has been met. Now let's go ahead and let's look at water initiatives.
Right.
Let's look at
how else can we help?
Yeah, let's look at the next level. How are we going to help with food? What are we going to do in our community? What are we going to do international? How are we going to make a difference? And how are we going to get more kids to rise up to say, hey, we can do something significant. In our world, we're just kids, but if we get kids together, we can do something significant too, and they've seen success.
Sure.
So now their significance has measurables, and they're looking at how do we do something more. So there are pieces being put together right now by those kids to say, what are we going to do next?
And so many folks, I think, underestimate the power of a child and the power of their innocence and also the power of their drive and really what truly they can accomplish.
Right. Yeah.
Because your daughter she's a pretty good example of.
It's amazing.
Well, and at that age,
blown away.
And at that age, honestly,
yeah, she's 12.
They haven't heard no from employers or other people.
They're not
maybe
jaded.
They're not jaded with this
To the
world that we
extent
live in. To
sure.
the extent that some of us are hesitant to jump in and just put all our faith there and go forward.
Wow.
So with kids and what's going on with Convoy of Hope and people moving from success to significance, it's fun to watch.
Right.
It's amazing to watch.
Right.
Amazing accomplishments. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Brent, Michelle, and myself share with you on our show, today it all starts with one call, and that's one call from you. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online and listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to our website at REOFresnoHomes.com. Again, that's REOFresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
KMJ. Oh, wrong one. Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into our show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, after the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Brent Riffle, the Major Donor Relations Director for Convoy of Hope here in Fresno. Again, the topic of discussion is moving from success to significance. And what does that mean to you? You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valleywide help. Valleywide Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valleywide Homes to work for you. Valleywide Homes, NMLS number 342062. 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, today we are talking about how to move from success to significance.
Yeah, my van's out back. Packed. Let's do it.
Wow.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go.
Johnny's mouth dropped.
Hey, Johnny, if you don't want to move to significance with me, it sounds like a really cool place. I'm just saying.
I'm moving from the corner of success to South significance.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
Well, to help us with this conversation, we've got Brent Riffle, the Major Donor Relations Director for Convoy of Hope. So, Brent, give us an example of some of the ways that people give.
Well, a lot of people, like I said, give cash, give some investment. IRA rollover has now taken effect where people can roll over their IRAs. But when I was talking to Craig at the beginning a few months ago, we were talking about real estate. How, people look at building their assets in real estate, but then I've had people that have said, I've built a lot.
Yeah.
Now what? Mm-hmm. I've got some people that I've talked to have had 10 different properties. Some people have had 20, 30, 40 different properties. And they're asking that question, well, I didn't know that I could give it. How do I gift
How do I
this?
monetize that?
How do I turn this in and have it make an impact in our community here or in our world? Mm-hmm. How do I make that happen?
Sure.
So there's a desire, I think, with people that are saying, I want to do something more significant with my property. How do I do it? How do I avoid some of the taxes? And can I just gift it? Mm-hmm. What does that look like? Right. So there's a few different ways in which we can help people do that. And it could be at times as simple as gifting a deed, mm-hmm.
Sure.
To working through more of the, getting our prelims and getting mm-hmm. all the pieces together and figuring out what the value is. And if the nonprofit even has the ability to accept it.
Right.
Because we're giving a gift. So some people have said, well, here's a gift. I want to be able to gift this, but they wouldn't gift it to their own kids. So
it's got to make sense. It's got to be a gift worth giving. Is that what you're saying?
So I look at it as my daughters at Christmas time like gifts. So they wrap up some of their used things and they put them under the tree because they like the scene of gifts under mm-hmm. the tree. But when their sisters open it, it's kind of a letdown mm-hmm. because they're like, wow, this is a used gift, and it's not that great. But when it comes to property, mm-hmm. that rental property that may be completely run down has value mm-hmm. to someone. Mm-hmm. Now, nonprofits typically don't want the property. They want to be able to flip it and sell it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. So how can we do that more effectively mm-hmm. and do it the right way, bring in the CPA, bring in an attorney if we need to get that done the right way. But I encourage our listeners to consider, if you're making a gift and you're looking at the possibility, wow, I never thought about that possibility mm-hmm. of my rental property or this property that I haven't used or that it's a lot somewhere, mm-hmm. that can be sold. And that's where I know Craig would love to be able to help be a part of that, and make that happen.
Well, and I think you mentioned something about it's not something that you necessarily would give your kid. Okay, maybe your kid doesn't want this piece of property. Maybe they have no use for it.
You had a great story, Brent. You had a great story that when we originally sat down and there was a
look at his mind. You're scaring him right now.
Gifted that was, do you remember which story I'm talking about? And
a gentleman that had gifted some properties?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had come to us, and that was a success to significant story, that he came to us and said, I'd like to make a gift of 3 different pieces of property. Mm-hmm. And I questioned. I wanted to talk to his family to make sure that it's all okay with the with his kids.
Sure.
So they knew that that's an okay thing.
Right.
Because I don't want to blow up families.
Well,
Sure.
and if it's not valuable to those family members, it's definitely valuable to somebody else. And that's the point.
Yes. And I would say, too, that when we're gifting property or when we're gifting that type of asset, nonprofits want an asset that is actually an asset and not a nightmare.
Right. Yeah.
So they have the ability to sell it.
Do what's needed.
And it's sellable. There's value.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the important thing to note is, when folks sit there and look at ways that they can, in terms of being significant and having a cause that they really truly want to take and make their own, you can give time, you can give cash. But for those folks that have worked extremely hard, have been successful, and are looking for an outlet for maybe a piece of real estate that has, in their mind, exceeded its economic use. And that's when they need to make that phone call to you to put that team in place and make it happen.
Yeah. No, that's right, and that's what we would love to do.
Now, real quick, let's jump back a little bit. You had talked about the outreach event that is going to be planned for November of this year. Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, when in doing it 3 years ago, the need was huge, the impact was huge, the lives were impacted in that as we saw 10,000 people walk in. We're looking this year at doing the same thing, making it bigger. The budget for that is going to be anywhere between $150,000 to $175,000 to pull that off.
Sure.
But it really comes down to $1 being given is about $10 to $15 of impact. So
good leverage.
So if we're bringing in $150,000 budget to this thing, it's going to be a $1.5 to a $2 million impact here in our local community to the people that we're going to be serving. And corporations, individuals are bringing in-kind product to the table, you name it, to be able to provide haircuts and bicycle repair to food and job. It's a job fair. There's a number of different things, and we'll be able to tell you more as we go on.
Super. So you heard it here first on the Real Estate Radio Network that there is going to be a Convoy of Hope outreach here in Fresno, November 23rd, 2013. Super. You'll hear more about it. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on our show, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
Well, a special thank you to my longtime buddy. What have I known you? 30 years, Brent?
Probably so.
At least. Brent Riffle, the Major Donor Relations Director for Convoy of Hope here in Fresno. If you'd like to speak with Brent directly, please give him a call. If you'd like more information about the outreach event, you can call Brent at 559-908-9527. Again, that's 559-908-9527. To learn more about the Convoy of Hope, go to convoyofhope.org. A big thank you to Michelle Pettis-Cavalli, my special bestie, every Sunday morning from 7 to 8.
Why is it different every week, Johnny?
Oh, my gosh.
Different every
also,
week.
A big special thank you to Johnny B. behind the mics. Johnny, you make us sound so good, buddy. Always great to be here with you. Don't forget to tune in to the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.